Welcome back to Just Jump. We got House of the Dragon, a little bit of the Bear, not too much of the Bear. You can blame him for not watching it yet.
Blame me.
Who are we blaming?
Listen,
Listening.
it's a preset menu. You got to take your time with it.
No.
Okay, you don't just jump right in. This isn't fast food, okay? You take your time with this.
You went somewhere with that, but a prefix menu is the quickest menu possible.
No, you got to take time with it.
No. You order all three up front. That's what a prefix is.
You don't order anything. They tell you what you're eating.
Yeah, that's true. House of the Dragon, a little bit of the Bear, and then UFC 303.
Shem.
I'm rhyming. House of the Dragon, we'll start immediately. I think I'm going to go first because I would like to end on a positive note. And I think you liked it. So we'll go from here.
We'll see.
I was bored, dude. This was the first episode I got bored. A cool little ending, you know. But I feel like I already gave that excuse once in the first episode. I was like, okay, they're laying the groundwork, and then the ending brought me back in. I was just bored. I'm going to be honest.
This ending saved the episode.
Yeah, like from being just an angry episode.
Because this might have been the best piece of TV we've had in this series so far, I thought.
What do you mean by that?
We got everything, like everything was out in the open finally.
Like all the
Allison
little.
realized she screwed up.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra actually heard the truth.
She got closure, yeah.
Yeah, everything felt like really good. And then, of course, the credits go up and we're like, cool, I just watched 67 minutes of TV to get that last 3 minutes that I needed.
Did you see Allison run from the truth too? She probably
Literally ran.
She probably realized in that moment that like Rhaenyra knew something she didn't, and she's like, before she keeps explaining, I gotta get out of here.
I mean, for you to think that little guy named Aegon's supposed to be like the king or something, come on.
She thought she was doing the right thing. Let's rewind. It starts off.
Now that's even crazier to think now though, because this whole time we just thought she was lying.
Who?
Allison.
Who was lying? What do you mean?
Well, it just seemed like she knew she wasn't being truthful. And now, like, she knows, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it seemed like she was, like, fabricating everything that was going on.
I actually know where you're going with this. She believed what she heard, but didn't believe it in her heart.
Yeah.
Like, she probably thought, like, why would he do this? But he said it. I was there.
There's no way that dude was like, yo, Aegon's the king now.
Yeah. She definitely
There was
didn't.
not one person that was like, oh, yeah, that's what he meant.
She couldn't rationalize his decision. And now she really can't. Because now she's like, well, I screwed that whole thing up. And little wrinkle here, and we definitely should have gone back and looked at this, but I believe Viserys thought he was talking to Rhaenyra.
I'm pretty positive that's exactly what happened.
Because that's why there was that awkward tension where Rhaenyra was like, he said this to you? And she like paused and didn't say anything. So this would just be a whole, I mean, Allison, who was probably like who we thought was going to be like the most innocent gem, is now sitting here like, damn, I caused this whole thing and it's my fault.
Think she's going to say anything?
She can't. You know, and then they caused a theme even at the beginning of the episode where they talked about how nobody's going to care why the war even started. Like, they're going to, like, it's going to just get lost in time and go over and over and over again. So I don't think it matters anymore. You know, I think everyone's true feelings kind of came out regardless if it was for the right reasons or not. I mean, Damon's just hiding in that castle, just upset.
So what is going on with him?
His storyline sucks
I need
so
more
far.
Daemon in a good way, not more Daemon and just doing nothing, just walking around. Also, if that dude called him Prince one more time, his head was about to be gone.
Did see a little more personality for the kids, though, which I thought was cool. You know, one's getting Rhaena. She's getting sent off to what she thought was a fool's errand, and she's actually holding, like, probably the most prized possessions on the planet with those eggs.
Oh, those are going to be fun.
I wonder if it's the same ones from Game of Thrones, like the original. I don't know. I don't know how long eggs sit. I haven't really read the books thoroughly, but if those are the same ones that Khaleesi gets, how cool would that be? And then we learned, like, Aegon and Aemond, we kind of learned a little bit about their relationship. Like, Aemond's a little bit of a softie, even though he only kind of shows hardcore.
Literally softy.
Yeah, there was a lot of Johnson in this episode.
Yeah, I didn't expect the... I don't know, I just wasn't expecting that when they walked in.
I feel like that was an incorrectly rated episode. You can't show what they showed. Have you ever seen that in any other HBO show?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't seen a lot of wiener in HBO. Shows,
that was, dude. Well, no, I mean,
they didn't show a lot of wiener in Entourage.
No, they do. Like, Euphoria had a lot, and then even Game of Thrones did. But
They're just showing high school wiener in Euphoria.
They showed a whole scene. Like, they showed a whole, like, set-up scene, not in Euphoria, in this episode we just watched.
I was like, dude, they're in high school. What's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not actually in high school, but, like, come on.
Yeah, that show is a little strange. The creator has gotten into a lot of hot water.
You think?
Yeah. I don't know, but we could keep going on about this episode. If you're watching this, you've probably seen it because we've already told you we are not protecting you from spoilers. But it's just more politics, more talking. Things did get more out in the open, like you said, but overall, I'm going to need a banger next time. I'm getting a little bored.
I'm not bored. I'm just, I don't know. I'm not someone that watched all of Game of Thrones. I've watched all of House of the Dragon. And from like all I've heard is that as the series progresses, there's just bangers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we haven't had like a banger episode yet.
You got to remember, too, I'm coming from a place of hurt. The last thing I remember before this show was pain. They disappointed me. So I'm a little bit more impatient than maybe I used to be because I don't have faith that they're going to do it right.
But I mean, they're still like, every storyline seems like it's progressing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're eventually going to get somewhere. I mean, we're almost at the halfway point. We're going in episode 4 next week. So maybe something crazy is about to happen. I mean, after all the information that was just given out at the end of the episode, you would think that they're setting up for something crazy happening in the next episode.
Well,
like, Rhaenyra is not going to go back with all the information, say something, and nothing's going to come from it. Because I feel like now she has more of an impulse of being like, no, let's go to war.
I'm really interested in 2 things. I can't remember if this is 8 episodes or 10. Are you sure that it's 10?
I would be shocked if it was 8.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, if it's 8 or 10, next episode's going to be crazy. If it's 10, it'll be episode 5. Game of Thrones has an insane reputation of making episodes 5 and 9 like absurd every season.
I thought 8 was the crazy episode.
It's usually 5 and 9. It's the penultimate and then episode 5.
Emma's face keeps
I
popping
know.
up.
My dog. I haven't seen my dog all weekend. She's very upset we're behind this desk. I'll get to you.
We want to say hi.
I'll get to you, okay? Okay. Can you at least come on camera?
This is so good.
So they know what's going on.
There
You can
go.
see
There
her
you
little
go.
nose.
Yeah, her nose popped up like 3 or 4 times.
I think we just go right to scores. Because there really isn't much. There's not a ton to break down from this episode besides a bunch of people positioning. Like even where Damon's at, Rhaenyra and Alicent both learning a little more why they're doing what they're doing. There's not a ton to be like everyone just got put in a different spot.
Yeah.
Like even the girl with the dragons, like they put her somewhere. It's just, I don't know. But I went first last week. You go first this week.
I put an 8.1.
Okay.
My lowest rated episode so far. When I see a scene like I saw at the end, it's going to save me from giving it one of the 7s.
Mm-hmm.
So I still thought it was pretty good. I don't hate anything. I feel like I'm just waiting for something to happen. And I think their problem is right now, too, is I don't know if the Game of Thrones had episodes this long. If you're going to give me 70 minutes, I need, like, some action.
So it's funny you say that because Game of Thrones, when they had those episodes, they were always insane. Like, they weren't doing 70 minutes unless it was, like, Battle of the Bastards or, like, Daenerys burning a city down. Like, they didn't do it for no reason, but that's also because they always had success in crazy budgets and destiny to fulfill with that. And again, it will completely change the way I feel about this if it's 10 or 8 episodes.
And I'm not someone that read the book, so maybe this is what it is. Maybe
let's just look at it.
Maybe it is a slow burn, but I was expecting a lot more action, especially going into this episode after
it's 8.
Watching Daemon just travel around with a dragon at the end of an episode. I'm like, all right, well, excuse me. Watching Daemon travel around with a dragon at the end of the episode, you're expecting something kind of crazy to happen in the next one, and it's him kind of just going into a dialogue thing. Which, seeing the little flashback of young Rhaenyra was pretty cool. You got a little emotional there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that girl was like, you better get out of here.
I'm going to kind of drastically change my score. Because now that I can confirm it's 8 episodes, there's not much time to waste. I was going to go with a 7.1.
Oh.
I'm going with a 6.4 now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I was just bored, dude. And here's another thing. This is why this is the first week ever I'm going to say this until it happens again. I wouldn't take my rating too seriously this week because I just watched the entire season of The Bear. And I think...
Well, the comment section wasn't really happy with you last week.
Well, that's just because
if you think a 6.4, people are not going to be jumping in. You're out of your mind there,
That's just because they don't know ball.
That's probably why they watch House of the Dragon, because they don't know ball.
But anyway, I just watched the entire season of The Bear, and that had so many like perfect episodes in it that I think I'm a little bit like, I might just be a little bit impatient. And also I saw The Boys though, and the Boys was awesome this week. The Boys was actually incredible this week.
So if you had a Joey power rankings on shows right now,
yeah,
Shorzy's 1. What's after that?
You know what? Shorzy disappointed me in one facet.
Oh, dude.
Let me tell you one
You know what?
thing.
I'm actually not going to rebuttal when you say this. I'm going to go in the comments this week.
Just one single thing.
Okay.
And you're gonna agree with it.
All right.
I actually think this is a fair critique. They didn't say Martinis one time this season.
All right, I'll give you that.
That's not good.
We said it though enough that night.
Yeah, we did. My power rankings. All right. So of the shows that have come out, if I had to give a power ranking, right now I'm going The Boys, The Bear, House of the Dragon.
Ooh.
That being said, all three are great shows. Like, I'm not saying
Well,
that.
I mean, great shows don't get a 6.4.
I mean, my other ratings were high, so it's pretty good. And you can't hit home. I mean, we need base hits. A good team needs to get on base. 6.4 is
Get on base.
when I point to you. Yeah, you talk. So yeah, that's what we're gonna ride with. But the boy, like when you get to that, like I'm gonna tell you exactly what episode once you get to it, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's why this guy was skewed this week because it was just insane this week.
I'm gonna do it for the millions of viewers that we have. I'm gonna finish the Bear this week.
There you go.
I got you.
This
is for you guys, not for me.
There is one thing I did want to talk about with the Bear. Character in the show. Sorry, not character. Actor in the show. Ayo, Boston's very own, plays Sydney in the Bear. She brought something to my life that I am so happy about this week. She was getting interviewed, and she talked about something that I've talked about with my fiance. I've talked about it with you. I have been talking about it for years, and no one ever knows what I'm talking about.
Potato chips on an omelet.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
She was a huge fan of the Cool Dog. Do you know what the Cool Dog is?
The Cool Dog. That's like a something you eat. I can't remember what it is though.
So
something you eat.
So it is an ice cream hot dog.
Yeah.
It's like the bun is angel cake, and then it's like a vanilla ice cream, and then you just do a sundae. You make whatever you want off it, and you eat like a hot dog. That was one of her favorite things, and she talked about it on Instagram posts, and I was like, I felt so liberated, because every time I try to explain it to my fiance, she looks at me like I have 10 heads. And also, I'm not crazy. They went out of business. I've been trying to find them forever. And I commented Boston's Instagram. It's like boston.com Instagram, whatever. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been talking about the Cool Dog for 18 years because it's genuinely been 18 years since I had it. And a bunch of people from Boston commented on it, like being like, my uncle like opened the business, and I looked at it, it's like real, like that's the guy. And I was like, just tell me.
She
what
needs to bring it back.
I told him, I was like, just tell me what I got to do to get one. Like I need to know because I'm at the point I'm gonna make my own Cool Dog at home.
If there was ever a point for that to come back, it's now. She's on a legit show about cooking.
Dude, I just felt so good because I knew that I wasn't crazy, man. Because at this point, I had it one single time at a house that my nano, she was a cleaning lady, and I had it at this rich person's house. They had a Cool Dog kit in the freezer.
Oh.
That is the only time I've ever had it, and I've never seen it again. I want it so bad.
That's tough.
If you go on the website, it looks like it's from 1996, so it's not giving me much.
That's the last time they were eating them.
So if you wanted the Bear analysis, that's all I got for you. We'll come back for the full season next week.
Yeah, I'm only 4 episodes in right now.
Yeah.
Good, very good so far though. Very good.
I cannot wait until next week to come back to this conversation.
Dude, that show stresses me out in like a good way.
Yeah.
I'm always just sitting there on the couch and I'm like, and Nick's gotta look at me like, dude, we don't work there no more. We're good. You don't work in a restaurant anymore. It's gonna be okay. I'm like, all right, I'm fine. It's just.
It is a stressful show.
Oh man.
The
first episode is just great where him and Richie are just arguing.
Yeah.
I love it. It reminds me like sometimes like when we like play argue because it's just like the whole.
No, that's only you who does that.
No, but like you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When they do the play argument where he's just like, yeah, you know what, that's actually not a bad idea, but you're actually still an asshole.
Yeah.
And they just ended every sentence, but you're still an asshole, and it was so good. I was like loving every little second of it.
Yeah, it is funny to see people like that because I don't know, they're actually like mad at each other in this scenario though. But we'll see.
We'll see. I'll see where they go to.
Yeah. UFC 303.
Oh yeah.
It was. You know, it's interesting when you think you're getting McGregor. I think a lot of people are like, they weren't stoked, and then they got another really good fighter in. The re-stoke kind of happened. I'll say this, at least his fight delivered.
Shama.
Him.
He is
Alex Pereira.
an absolute amazing, just everything. Everything. He's an actual, he kind of just reminds you, like, if you're playing a video game as a kid and you create a fighter, that's what he looks like, and that's how he fights.
He's a big boy.
He's a psychopath. One of the coolest things of this is Conor McGregor pulls out of the fight because of broken toes. Pereira stepped in with broken toes and then broke his toes with a head kick.
Again?
That's insane. He was fixing his broken toes after he kicked him in the head.
That's actually absurd.
That's crazy. It's
And
just,
you said that he saw it earlier in training too. So he planned
dude,
to kick someone with his broken
they
toes.
were sitting in the back, and like when they do like the pre-fight, just showing you in the back, like practicing stuff. He said he could tell the way Yuri was moving that they were so worried about the low kick. So he's like, I'm just gonna set up the high kick. And
That's
he
pretty smart.
like literally just kept kind of like doing a lot of low kicks in the first round. Because the first fight they had, Yuri was winning the fight until he got caught with that left hook, which this fight Pereira was winning, and then hit him with a left hook, and then just came out literally 5 seconds of the second round, kicked him in the head. That's just...
We need to talk about how Alex Pereira basically got knocked out and went the exact opposite direction of most fighters. He just got better. Like he didn't really change what he does. He just got a little smarter.
He gets knocked out, goes up in weight, takes out Jan Blachowicz, who beat Israel Adesanya, then goes and wins the belt. What?
He basically
now he's just he's already defended the belt twice. He goes and wins the belt against the guy that beat Glover. Then he beats up another guy that beat Glover, and then he just beats the other guy that beat Glover the first time again. Like he's avenging his coach's losses, which is awesome. He's beating the guys that Israel Adesanya couldn't beat.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He essentially just fixed his own street cred.
And now he's like, I'm just gonna go. He might just go to heavyweight.
He could. I mean, he's not a real. That's not a real human.
Like I was sitting there like last night, and I'm like, who does this guy fight next? So like the next guy he would fight at light heavyweight would be Magomed Ankalaev. You know him, right?
Exciting.
No one wants to watch that.
Throw that on a co-main.
Or it's he can go up to heavyweight and fight John Jones or Tom Aspinall.
I'd watch Tom Aspinall before Jones, and then
Tom Aspinall, I think that's might actually happen because Tom Aspinall defends his belt in a month.
I think it would be cool if they fought and then maybe the winner gets Jones. I'd like that.
If Pereira knocks him out too.
Jones?
Anybody else. Anytime he knocks someone out now, it's just the legacy keeps growing at this point.
He ain't knocking out John Jones.
He saved UFC 300 and then saved this card on 2 weeks' notice. He's
really,
already the fighter of the year. He doesn't have to do anything else this year.
What's really cool about that is our little cousin Nick, he watches UFC like sparingly, and even he knew that. He was like, didn't this guy just save the last card?
He just fought. And then Dana was like, he already talked about how he wants to fight soon.
I mean, he's not taking damage. He looks fine.
He's giving plenty of damage out.
Like his toes are just, he didn't care.
He doesn't need those.
Yeah. It's one of the takeaways I did have, even though I think Pereira quickly fixed his own street cred because he basically beat up everyone Izzy couldn't, it does make Izzy's knockout that much cooler, though.
See, I keep hearing that, he didn't beat Izzy 3 times.
No, I understand. Well, first off, I think in kickboxing, one of them was like really close.
Well, one of them was a decision. The other one was Adesanya out cold.
Yeah.
Then he came to the UFC and beat him, and then he lost to him.
Yeah.
Like that was the new thing. Like everyone's saying this week. Oh man, the Izzy win looks so good. It looks so good. It's so good. Yeah, Izzy win looks great. I mean, the celebration was awesome. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That's literally. And then Izzy going and posting it after the fight, which is like the stuff that he used to hate that John Jones would do, which he would do now.
I didn't know people were saying that at all. It's that's just how I feel.
Someone's like, oh well, when you think about the weight, they both made the same weight.
No.
Yeah, they both made 185 pounds.
Yeah, no, I hear that, but the UFC is kind of fake with that. Like they gain like 30 pounds overnight.
Still got to make the weight.
No, I get that, but in boxing they literally say you can't.
So you would think when you cut that much weight, your cardio wouldn't be good. He beat Izzy in the 5th round. He's still in the 5th round hunting him down.
Yeah.
So the weight even at that point, it's like Izzy should be the one that has better cardio at that point.
Didn't he get knocked out?
TKO'd him in the 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you. It's just how I feel.
And I feel like we've all forgotten. He knocked out Sean Strickland.
Who?
Pereira. We all forgot
that doesn't do much for me, though. Sean Strickland's like...
He just whooped Izzy.
Yeah, but like you could tell Izzy wasn't in it.
Yeah, clearly when he lost every round.
But Sean Strickland's like, let me keep walking forward and just be the weirdest fighter on the planet.
He tried to walk forward on Pereira and got called that left hook in about a minute.
I'm not taking away from Pereira. I'm just saying that when Izzy knocked him out, Pereira was a lot bigger than him. That's it.
They weighed the same at the weigh-in.
At the weigh-in,
They weighed the same at the weigh-in.
All right. Well, you can die on that hill if you like.
Just on a hill, you got to weigh in.
And
then the co-main event is the wildest, I think, UFC story of all time.
That's pretty gnarly one.
The fact that they added Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega on 2 weeks' notice at featherweight.
So who left? All right, let's backtrack. Who was supposed to be the co-main?
Co-main was supposed to be Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill. Roundtree had a tainted supplement, so they pulled him out of the fight. Carlos Uhlberg jumps in. Jamal Hill gets pulled out of the fight because of injury. Anthony Smith jumps in. Carlos Uhlberg gets hurt. Roman Dolidze jumps in. So it's Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Smith. Ended up finally beginning the fight. That was the third fight. So the co-main ended up being Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega at featherweight 145 for the co-main. Day before the weigh-in, Ortega can't make the weight. It goes up to lightweight 155. Day of the event, Ortega has a fever. He can't fight. Danny Ige gets a call 4 hours before the fight and says, hey, do you want to fight? Weighs in 165. They fight. So Diego Lopez went from a 145-pound fight to a 155-pound fight to a 165-pound fight all within 2 weeks and still won.
How do you... So he was 155 the day of the fight?
Day before. And then he had to weigh in.
It's just funny. We had the last conversation we just had, and now we're having a conversation where a guy can gain 10 pounds in 5 minutes.
He was, I think he weighed in at like 161, 162, but it was technically a 165 catch weight because they have to put out like a weird number.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fought it. I'm like,
no man's land.
They just kept giving this guy opponents and weight classes for 2 weeks, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, that's gnarly. This card was on life support, dude. Like the fact that they had to do that many times, and then they lose their cash cow.
This is what I was talking about last week with with the UFC show. Like, in no other sport does this happen. Like, boxing would never save a card like this. They couldn't. They'd just be like, all right, whatever, we're scrapping the event. Dana and Hunter Campbell are just on the phone with everybody in as many time zones as we have in this world, trying to get anyone and everyone to come over and fight.
There's such an equal responsibility on fighter and ownership. It's like, because the UFC has become this larger-than-life event, when something like this happens, it's more than just two guys' families who aren't going to eat. You know? Like, it's 15 different fights from prelims to how many is it? Like 12?
There's anywhere from like 10 to 14 fights.
So that's 28 people who are relying on that paycheck. So it's like, it's good that they keep making it happen, even when it isn't as cool and it's like a little letdown. You got to remember that there's a bunch of little dudes who like are trying to make their way.
That's what was crazy too. It's like we lost a Conor McGregor fight, and people really weren't that mad.
They were mad.
But not like when you add like Alex Pereira for Jiri Prochazka.
Yeah.
Like, people weren't like,
oh, they picked two gladiators.
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, okay, like we'll still, like Dana said, I guess. So they gave the offer was, you get like 50% of the money back on your ticket because they changed the main event. I think it's like if a main event falls through, that's when you can actually do refunds and stuff. The gate was over 20 million for the Conor fight. They still almost hit 16 million for the gate.
It's awesome.
So it's not like people were that upset that they had to go watch. Like, and also it's International Fight Week where people are planning. It's like it's like their WrestleMania. Like, people are flying there for the week to do all the fan interactions, like all the crazy stuff they do throughout the week. And it didn't really seem like, I mean, obviously, like people were bummed out a few weeks ago when they saw the Conor pull out, but this week it didn't really seem like, almost seemed like people forgot.
It did well on the internet as well.
Yeah, it seemed like people just forgot that Conor was supposed to fight, and it's like, oh well, we have this awesome main event this weekend. Like, we know it's going to be great. Like,
what was he posting last night, by the way?
Who?
Conor.
I don't even know.
Well, but I like got to it when it said post deleted. That's usually a Saturday Night McGregor post at that point. Yeah,
you gotta have the notifications on, or you're not gonna get to it.
It seemed way too like real to be following. I don't know, but I think it had something to do with Khabib. Right?
Oh, there's like a bunch of.
He got raided.
This isn't for this. This isn't. Yeah,
okay,
this is one of those things where we talk about it, we'll get taken down.
All right. Well, anyway, we can just say shortly. I'm not incorrect by this. Khabib's gym got raided.
All the stuff that Conor said at the press conference with Khabib to Khabib and Khabib's agent was true. We'll just go with that.
So what I was saying is I don't know if there's gonna be another one this week. Because
what if I finish the bear?
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be relying on you. So.
Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah, it's on you.
I'll finish it.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Peace.